Hello there, so this is one of my most recent slow stitching pieces and it's a Seascape, and I'm using my 12 needle felting machine in order to create some texture on some fabric which I'll be layering up to make this, and then I'm using a sort of sashiko stitching effect across the fabric to attach it to the background that I'm using. So I'm starting off by making some textured fabric, and I am going to be putting some texture packs in my Etsy shop as well, so you might be interested in having a look at those. I just picked up some really pretty colours that I like, and I'm using mainly items that I've taken from old dresses, so sort of lining fabrics, so some polycotton. This is polycotton lining from a dress, some satin pieces, so you can see the gorgeous texture that it makes when you put it under the needles, and you can achieve the same effect by using one of the hand needle felters as well. I love the way that the netting goes all nice and scratched up, and I love that texture that it makes. So I do this to a few different items that I've got on hand, and also I wanted to show you these absolutely gorgeous threads that I got from Etsy, so I'll talk about those a little bit later then. And they come in colourways that are akin to flowers and other things like that, so she's done some absolutely gorgeous hand-dyed colourways, so I'll link below those items because they're from Etsy as well. And I picked some colours that I thought would go really nicely for this Seascape, and I'm going to be putting some of those colours together in the shop, and I just think they go so beautifully with the thread packs, the yarn packs that I purchased from Etsy myself. So what I do to start with, once I've made all the lovely textured fabric, is just to cut out some strips, short and long strips of this fabric, because I'm going to layer them up. I'm going to fold them over on top of each other, and then I'm going to use those gorgeous threads just to stitch them down, and just use a sort of wave motion across the piece to sort of simulate the sky and then the waves, and attach them all together. So just layering it up there, and I'm putting it on the background that I'm using, stabiliser, and then I do add a little bit of quilt wadding on the back there, and that's just cotton quilt wadding. To start with, I do use some pins to pin it down so that it makes it easy and doesn't budge, and I start with the sky and then just sort of fold the pieces together until I get a look that I particularly like, and then the horizon line I just add a little bit of the land, and then start with the sea. So I pin it down and then I actually tack down. Now, it was actually Sarah Humphrey that sort of got me into the whole tacking thing. I've always used just some repositionable glue or glue stick in order to put my pieces down before, but she got me into tacking things down when I went on that little course that she did in Sherwood Pines. So with it all tacked down, it's a lot easier to work with because I can remove most of the pins at this point, and then I can get these absolutely gorgeous threads out and start stitching those down. So I got 2 packs from this particular seller on Etsy, the seaweed pack I think it's called, and the forget-me-not pack. There was another pack that I wanted, I think it might have been called Bluebell, but unfortunately she was out of stock of that, so I had to have these ones. But as it happened, they were absolutely the perfect colours for this particular Seascape that I wanted to do. They went so beautifully with the fabrics that I had, so it was absolutely meant to be. You can see they're absolutely gorgeous, the textures of them. And if you are enjoying this, remember to give me a thumbs up. It really helps the video because they might show it then to people who would like to see this content. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. So basically all I did was a running stitch across the whole piece. With some pieces of the fabric I went all the way around, and then others I just literally went across the whole piece. So just to try and make a little bit of difference, the piece that I'm depicting as land there, I went in a different direction with my stitches. You can see it looks a terrible mess on the back side, but it looks really nice on the front. So once I have put all that down with my stitches, I then took out the tacking stitches and thought, now this needs to tell a bit more of a story, it needs something to pop. So I decided to add a little boat in the middle there, and I used just a little bit of lace and some cotton fabric and made that pop with some yellow and red embroidery floss, and that's the piece all done. And I went out yesterday to get some frames from IKEA, and I'll be framing it up sometime soon. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, give me a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care, bye. Oh, and if you stay to the end, I'd love to know who you are. Please leave me a comment and say hello, because I'd like to say hello back. Take care, bye.